7:45 p.m. on a blustery winter night. The police are invading their space, looking through Teddy's room, his dressers, their bills, their nightstands. They've asked them for the names and numbers of their family and friends. The dogs are sniffing all through the house. The garage has been rifled through. The coat rack, missing the bright red down jacket and mittens. The blue Sorels aren't on the rack. Patrol cars with their flashing blue and red lights lighting up the walls inside the homes of every house in the block. Neighbors are standing on the sidewalks, gathering into small groups. The whispering, the pointing. Jill can see some of them out of her front door. The doors, left open by detectives and patrolmen alike, tracking in the wet snow. Jill stands up from where she'd been sitting on the couch, and she goes to grab a roll of paper towels. She drops to her knees, her hands shaking so badly that she's nearly unable to hold on to the clump of towel she's ripped off of the roll. She's trying to sop up the liquid from the floor when an officer takes her by the elbow, helping her to stand. "Mrs. Clayton, please sit down," he says to her in a kind but firm manner, and she makes her way back to the couch to sit next to her distraught husband. He's crying into the palms of his hands, his back heaving. "How could this be happening?" He's moaning out into the air. His words aren't directed towards anyone in particular. Two detectives stand side by side, taking in the vision of the two of them on the couch. Jill hasn't said a word since being questioned about the events of the evening. She appears to be in shock. Every once in a while she will look at her husband as if seeing him for the first time. She'll tilt her head, her eyes swollen, and almost mechanically she'll pat him on his leg and whisper, "Gavin, stay calm. Gavin." And then she'll start staring off, up the stairs, as if waiting for Teddy to come walking down them at any moment. Jack Parson is a detective with the Cranbrook Police Department for nearly 20 years now. He softly whispers in a raspy voice, a cold he can't quite shake. "So, what are you thinking, Patty?" he asked Detective Patrick Moynihan. "Well, I think it's the worst day of their lives. And when they get over the shock, it's just gonna get worse before it gets better." Jack nods his head in agreement. They're waiting for the FBI to come. A likely kidnapping case. 5-year-old Teddy Clayton had been playing in the front yard of his family's upper middle class home when he vanished into thin air. 15 years later, a 13-year-old girl answers the phone as it rings while she's setting the table for dinner. "Hello, Clayton residence. This is Katie speaking." The Claytons have moved from the home they lived in on that awful night. Jill could not bear walking up the stairs and seeing Teddy's door with his wooden nameplate on the outside. A gift from Jill's father, who made furniture. In fact, he'd made Teddy's bed and drawers, too. Both empty now. Gavin began drinking much too often and ended up in rehab. When he got out, there was a for sale sign on his lawn, and Jill had already had a moving company come to pack up their belongings. They moved into a neighborhood closer to her parents. The home was gorgeous, but there were no stairways. And when they'd given birth to Katie, they'd never placed the nameplate Jill's dad made on her door. Instead, Jill put it into a box in the garage. The box held Teddy's favorite stuffed animal, a floppy rabbit named Kenneth, his baby blanket, a pillow, and a pair of blue Sorel boots. Katie called out for her dad, "Phone!" and put the phone on the counter with a clank. "Who is it?" asked Jill. "I don't know. Some kid asking for you or Daddy." Jill looked puzzled as Katie went about placing the glasses on the cream-colored tablecloth. "Hello?" Jill answered the phone. "Mommy, where's Daddy?" she heard a child's voice say as she gasped. "I'm afraid you have the wrong number," she said, her voice cracking as her body began to shake. Gavin came into the kitchen, took one look at her, and took the phone from her hand. "Hello?" said Gavin. "Daddy, I'm coming," the voice said. Gavin yelled into the phone, "This is not funny." But the voice of the small child remained calm. "Daddy, I miss you. I'm coming." Gavin slammed the phone down. "Katie, please go to your bedroom." "But Daddy..." "Now!" he snapped. Jill bent over. She was holding her stomach with one hand and covering her mouth with the other. "It was him, Gavin. It was Teddy." Gavin grabbed her. "That's impossible, Jill. You know that." Again she said, sobbing, "I know my son's voice, Gavin." And Gavin did too. "But it's impossible. That night, when I backed out of the driveway, I hit him. I was drunk. It's not possible." "I know, Gavin. I was there. I know what you did to my baby. I know you put him in those woods, buried his tiny body, alone. It was so cold." Gavin held onto the countertop, fearing that his knees would fail him and buckle right out from underneath him, and the phone rang again. "Daddy, I'm coming." Thank you for coming to my channel. If you'd like to be and you're not, please push that subscribe button. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be notified of new content and when our podcasts go live, please click that bell.